Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Hakakotash. Double odds unto the apostles and the elders of great millstone that surely do it well. Peace and blessings unto the Akim, surely four corners of the earth. And until next time, I want to say Shalom. This is Martin from Children at Camp West, coming once again to the Spirit and the power of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. To the next video to edify the Lord's elect, to feed the Lord's sheep, and hopefully, I pray that you've been edified by this lesson. This is from RT News. It says Russia building high-tech replacement for secretive nuclear doomsday plane with boosted range and improved capabilities. It says Russia has begun working on a brand new version of its famed Soviet-era doomsday plane, an aircraft designed to house the country's top leadership and keep them out of harm's way in case of all-out nuclear war on the ground. And the reason why they would make these things is because they know it's gonna happen. They know eventually one day it's gonna happen, because the Lord putting that spirit back into them. As the scripture said, the Lord gonna put hooks in their jaws. The Lord gonna stir up that spirit in them for that they are doomed. That what the scripture saying, Joel 3 and verse 9. It says, prepare you. That's not get it. It says, proclaim this year among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I am strong. Because the Lord put in the spirit into these heathens, to gather into that battle. The scripture say, in the day of judgment. Let me read on. I'm continue reading on. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. They that cause thy mighty ones to come down with your hours. So then the Lord gonna bring, send his son and his angels and to deliver the elect as well as to fight against the heathen. But they they think that they're gonna flee from the wrath to come, which as they actually right in a way that they're gonna flee from Dara, because the scriptures say that the Lord gonna reserve the heads to be, or the leaders to be, the first ones to go into them chains and shackles. So they're actually most likely gonna survive. Some of them, if not all, but eventually they're not gonna be able to flee from the captivity, or they're not going to be able to hide themselves from the captivity that we're going to carry them into, that we're going to bring upon them. It says an aircraft designed to house the country's top leadership and keep them out of harm's way in case of an all-out nuclear war on the ground. But they think they're going to hide from the wrath of the Most High. What they don't know is that when Yahushua come, he's going to stay. He's not going to come and go back into heaven, and then they're gonna come out of their holes and they're gonna rule again. No, it's not gonna be so. He's gonna come and he's gonna assume rulership, and he's gonna take control and power of the whole earth, because that was given unto him, as scripture saying in Daniel 7 chapter. So unlike unto the Son of Man come before the Ancient of Days, and power and dominion and glory and all these things were given unto him. So when Yahushua come, he gonna reign supreme along with the 144K. You're gonna bring destruction first and save us, and then you're gonna ascend into heaven and come back down and gonna put you hidden into chains. But as the scripture says concerning that bullshit that you think you're gonna do. Amos 9 and verse 1 says, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will steal the last of them with the sword. And he that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. It says, though they dig into hell, then shall mine hands take them. From then the Lord gonna take you. Though you dig into hell, which means which goes to show that that term hell just means the earth or the ground or the grave. And you could dig into the ground and you could put a bunker there. It says, though they dig into hell, which means, and to bring out proof that they have underground bunkers for things like, airstrikes or missile attacks. They have these things. It says, though they dig into hell, which is the earth, then shall my hand take them. From there, the Lord gonna take them out. It says, though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So these people actually have bunkers in space, bunkers in the earth, underground, and even bunkers in the sea, underwater bunkers. And that is their plan. That is their plan, to flee from the wrath to come. But what they're actually doing, they're actually reserving themselves. The Lord actually reserving them for the captivity to come. I think see if I can get it real quick. I think it's Isaiah 24 verse start at verse 20. It says, Isaiah 24 verse 20, it says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And that is when these missiles hitting these different or various parts of the earth, and they're going to be rocking back and forth, just like how a man that is staggering when he's drunk, it does rock back and forth because he can't find stability. Just so the earth going to be rocking back and forth. It says, to reel to and fro like a drunkard. It says, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgressions thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. They're not gonna that does not mean that the earth is gonna be destroyed. You understand? Talking about the people that rule in the earth, they're gonna fall and shall not rise again. The wickedness, the wicked ones. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, which are these elites. These are ministers, these so-called royalties, the princes, the queens, the kings, the ministers, the senators, the judges, all these high ones. It says that the Lord Yahweh shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit. So if they were to die, they wouldn't be gathered. So if the scripture is saying that they're gonna be gathered, that means that they're gonna survive. So the things that these people are doing, it's still playing into the hands of the Lord. Because the Lord is actually in control of these decisions that they're making, because it's all to fulfill prophecy. It says, and should be shut up in the prison, after many days shall they be visited. So we're gonna just take them, gather them, put them into prison. And when we're ready to set up or establish our order upon the earth, we're gonna visit them, we're gonna take them, and we're gonna make them build our kingdom. But going back into what I was speaking about before, the Amos the street says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. So they're not gonna be able to hide from the Lord. It says Isaiah 2 and verse 19, it says, and they shall go into the holes, of the rocks, and into the caves of the earth, for the fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake terribly the earth. And that shaking gonna come by means of these nuclear missiles. The scripture says gonna have great earthquakes. Earthquakes from what? The impact that that these missiles gonna cause when it explodes, when it hit the ground, or when it explode above surface level, above ground level. It's still gonna cause an impact, and it's gonna have a great destroying wind. A great wind that's gonna push down everywhere in it. Because when a missile hit, the fire reaches a certain point, and then beyond the fire, it's gonna be a wind, a blast, that's gonna just push down everything. That's gonna push down all the trees, all the building in it, and then it's gonna have the radioactive fallout after. So it's just like how to put it. They have different. You're gonna be impacted different ways, you know. And they show it in movies. The cloud has only go so far. They just make a mushroom cloud, and that cloud has only just have a small circumference. But beyond that cloud, it's gonna have fire, and beyond that fire, you're gonna have wind that just pushing on everything in its way because of the blast that these powerful nuclear missiles create. It says, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth, for fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake terribly the earth. Hey, this is Psalms 139. Yeah, 139, verse 7. It says, whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost part of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me. You understand? It says even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. So no matter where you go, where you flee to, that you're not going to be able to flee from the presence of the Lord, because the Lord's Spirit is in everything. You can't hide from the eyes of the Lord. The scripture says the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. And when the sun out, it brings light upon everything. So something that you wasn't able to see before, when the sun have set, when it arise, you're able to see because it shine a light upon that. Imagine something 10,000 times brighter than the sun. That means you have no way it could hide. You have no way that it could hide. This is Revelation 6 and verse 14. It says, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, and the kings of the earth. And they're talking about when a nuclear missile hit the cloud that it caused. The cloud that it causes, it looks just like a mushroom. The heavens does depart, like you're rolling a scroll together, like how the top of the mushroom cloud look like. You're rolling a scroll together. It says when it is rolled together, and every mountain and islands will move out of their places because of the vibration and the impact of the missiles. It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So what they're actually trying to do is hide. Hide from the presence of the Lord. But what they actually do is create. It's just like in 2012, they create vessels to flee, but only for the super rich and the elite have access to it, or could be able to to enter into that vessel. But in 2012, I think it was a big ship. Now they're creating planes, because that plane much faster than a ship, and since much of the impact is going to be on the ground, it wouldn't be wise to be in a ship, because them earthquakes going to cause a lot of tsunamis and different all different kind of effects. But yet still, even though they're in the planes, even though they're going to hide, they're still not going to be able to avoid the judgment of the Lord. So with that, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Hakakwadash. The balance unto the apostles and the elders and criminals that truly do well. Peace and blessings unto the Akim, truly folk unto the earth. Until next time, I want to say Shalom.